What's up, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is June 10th. I cannot believe it is June 10th. I've been in this place. This is my 11th day in the new place. It's weird. This has gone by fast. They say time flies when you're having fun, so I guess I'm having fun. It is fun. It is nice. It's fun to be in like a real place. I just realized something. It's kind of ironic. So the landlord stopped by this morning just to see if everything's cool and whatnot. There's other properties on this piece of land. The way I understand it, this side of the road that I live on, from what I understand, it's all unrestricted land. So I don't know about the other side of the street, but on the side of the street I live on, all these properties down this road. It's kind of, that's one thing about Texas I can give another thumbs up to. The weather and the lack of zoning and the government doesn't really climb up your ass about your property rights in certain areas. If you don't have a homeowners association, that would be your situation where, come on, man, this thing just doesn't listen to me. Your homeowners association would be they're the ones going to climb up your ass about what you do or don't do with your property. But the government, there's not a lot of zoning and regulations here in Houston. That's probably, I could say that's a mix of good and bad. The roads, the design of the roads around here is, I've said it many times, it's horrible. And I think that's a byproduct of this. But you can buy a piece of land here in Houston and do whatever you want with it, generally speaking, unless you buy, some McMansion in a HOA locked down suburban hellhole. But you buy something in the Woodlands, there's probably a special garbage can with the Woodlands logo on it, and you can't take your garbage to the curb without the official Woodlands garbage can. I don't know. I think that's what but where I live, no. This guy he just bought this piece of land, and he's just like, I'll put a house here, I'll put a house there, I'll put two there, I'll put another, there's a camper back there, I'll put a trailer over here. He just, whatever the fuck you want to do. And as I go up and down this road, I can see other people are they bought a piece of land, they're like, I'm going to put a house here, a house there, another house back there. I don't know if it's the ones next door to me, I don't know anything about it. I'm just looking, I'm like, there's a house there, then there's another, and these are nice houses. There's a house here, then there's another house behind it, and there's another house back there, and I'm like, I wonder if that's a family thing where, somebody bought a piece of land and they just built a few houses on a lot of, my grandparents did that. They bought a giant piece of land, 400 and something acres, back when things were affordable. All the kids built houses on that land, and the land was parceled out after my grandfather died to the different children, and that has been cut up and dissected and changed around since. But it was 400 acres of land with 2 tire tracks going across a field, and they started building houses back there, and it got to the point where the town had to come and build a road, an actual road. And so my aunt, so I lived in a house with my parents when I was in high school. They built their house, and my aunt lived on one side, aunt and uncle lived here, another aunt and uncle lived on the other side. Down the road was my grandfather's brother, and so on and so forth. And so it's kind of interesting. But you see people do that all over the place. That's how it was done back in the day. And so I feel like there's some of that going on this road that I live on. But it is kind of, so the landlord's here often. Him and his son, it's like, I don't know, they got like a little family thing going on. It's cool, and they don't live here. This is like an investment for them. So they're here doing work, doing their, whatever they do. They got a house they just put right next door to this one that hasn't, I guess they're going to remodel it and, rehab it. I guess that's what they did to this. I don't know. I think they find building like these prefabbed movable houses or whatever, these single wide units and stuff. They may find them in not so great condition, have them picked up and brought here, and then they sit there and, gut them and remodel them and make them nicer and then rent them out. And so, when I look at how many, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say they got 5 of these things on one property and they're making about $1,000 a piece on average, they're bringing in $5,000 a month for that. And, you got to deduct expenses and taxes and, everything else that goes into it. But at the end of the day, you're probably making a decent amount of money. And if you do this, and they probably have other properties and other, I don't know, I haven't talked to them enough, but they probably have more properties in other places. So, but he drove by the front of the house really close today in his pickup truck a few times, and really close to the front door. You can drive. The FedEx guy the other day drove right up to the front door and handed me a washing machine out the freaking side of the truck, and I didn't even have to get off the front step to grab it. I'm like, thank you. It was like drive-through. It was like a reverse drive-through where DoorDash could come right up to the door and be like, here. There's a little window next to the door. I could turn it into the drive-through. I could just open up the window and reach out and grab my food and be like, bye, thanks. Wouldn't even have to open the door. But he knocked on the door and he looked at me. He's like, who the one that did this? And I looked down and somebody had driven right past the front of my house and it's all muddy. And there's this big thing of mud covering, there's a welcome mat there to wipe your feet off and stuff. It's all covered in mud now. And I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, that wasn't like that this morning. And now I just realized it was him. It was him. He drove past the house 3 times in his pickup truck, really close to the front door. And I know for sure it was him that did that. Because there's a tire track in the mud now, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to, next time I see him, I'm gonna be like, that was you. He's a nice guy though. Seems that so far so good. He just wanted to see, there was something going on with the water heater. He wanted to make sure it was all good. And I was like, yeah, it seems to be all right now. And there hasn't been a day where the hot water didn't work. It was just, little things. The bathtub, the first couple of days I was here, and then some, there's been a little bit of things that had to be fixed. I'm the first person to live in this place since they gutted it and remodeled it. So it doesn't really surprise me that there's been a few things that need to be taken care of, because how would you know unless somebody's in there? But he's been very responsive and very quick to, no waiting 3 months to get hot water fixed. Oh, it's insane. So I'm kind of looking here. I'm waiting to hear back from, okay. So anyway, I'm uploading some videos to YouTube. I tried to upload a big batch, and then yesterday, Sunday came around and I was so tired. And I was like, you know what? I have no time for this. I'm going to I kind of padded it out so that one would launch, whatever would show up on Sunday, and then one would show up yesterday and another one would show up today. And so now I'm going to schedule the remaining videos out. What I'll do is just queue up one a day until Sunday, and then I'll backfill from there. I am really trying to get all the videos that I had in sequence pushed up, and just to the point where if I'm recording a video today, you'll see it today or tomorrow. But the first reason I did it is because I didn't want the old landlord knowing exactly what I was up to. By the time I was telling you guys that I found a new place, I had already found the new place and it was all set in stone. And at that point, if he had found out, I'd been like, well, whatever, I'm leaving. But he must not have ever watched my videos, or because he had no idea what was going on. When I told him I was leaving, he had no fucking clue. And I think that the day he came into the apartment and took the camera off the wall like that and went and like ran his hand under the hot water like he was testing to see if it still worked or something, I think that was his underhanded way of seeing what was going on, because he sent me a text at some point, I don't remember exactly what day, asking if I would pay the rent early. And he was trying to act like he was all nice, but he said, I just want to let you know the rent is now $900 a month starting June 1st. And I was just, he's like, so sometimes you pay the rent early. I was wondering if that was going to be the case again. And, something like that is what he said. I still have every text that ever went back and forth between me and him, in case, because I might need it someday, but I doubt it. But I didn't respond at all. Did not answer that text at all. Did not respond to him in any way, shape, or form. And then a week or so went by, and it was like Thursday, and I was leaving Saturday. I went to do my laundry. I tried to do my laundry while he's at work, while he's not there. And I went out of my way to not interact with him in any way, shape, or form after April 3rd. I might have seen the guy in person 2 times after April 3rd, and it was like, yep. I think he would be like, hey, what's going on? Not much. And just walk, talk to the hand shit. So he knew something was up, because I wouldn't talk to him at all. The only thing I would say is, yep, or not much. If he said, what's up, I would say, oh, not much. Hot water's still working? Yep. That's it. No fucking contact. Other than what I was forced to contact. I didn't want to look at him. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want anything to do with this guy. So I went and got laundry out of the washer and put it in the dryer and come back in the house, and he's there cooking something, and I'm like, fuck. Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, yep, you haven't. And I just kept going. He's like, what have you been doing? I'm like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. See ya. And so I think he knew something was going on, but so he figured while I was at work that one day, he came over to look inside the place, because if he's leaving at the end of the month, I'll be able to tell. Well, here it is, Tuesday, and I'm leaving on Saturday. Nothing. I didn't start packing until Friday at 3 in the afternoon. And here it's 2, so nothing looked out of place, nothing looked abnormal. In fact, the place was actually pretty clean that day, and it looked as if everything, he probably went in there and he was like, oh, I guess he's staying. Because he probably had it in his head that, if he's moving out at the end of the month, he would have boxes laying around, and it would look like he's been packing. Except it didn't look like I'd been packing because I hadn't. I started at 3 in the afternoon on Friday to leave Saturday morning. But I really didn't have that much stuff to do. And so, at the end of the day, I think that's what he was doing that day. I think he was poking around to see if he had to get his Craigslist ad back up because Adam's about to make the dash. And I got him. I got that motherfucker. I got him so good because he had no idea. He left to go to work on Saturday. I went and got the U-Haul. When I left to go get the U-Haul, his car was still in the driveway. And I was like, I hope that car's not there when I get back. And the fact that there was such a big line at the U-Haul wrapped around the entire freaking building. It was, I was there for 45 minutes waiting to get the truck, the van. I was 45 minutes waiting in that line. And then I stalled a little more. I went to Home Depot. I got a couple of storage bins. And I was just poking around. I was taking my time. And then I thought to myself, if I come down the road to the house and I see his car in the driveway, I'm just going to keep going. And I'm just going to go down to the end of the road, turn around and come back. Maybe go grab some things from Target that I wanted to get for the new place. Take that stuff over to the new place, take some groceries over and whatever, and get that out of the way. And then go back and see if he's still there. But when I came up on the house, his car was gone. And everybody was gone. The driveway was pretty much empty. And I was like, boom, let's get this done. 9:30 in the morning, I start bringing everything out to the van. 10 o'clock, my friend shows up. 11 o'clock, we're pulling out of the driveway and we're off. We're off the property, and I haven't been back since. And as soon as the four wheels were on the road, as soon as I pulled out of that driveway and the vehicles were on the road, on the way down the street, I'm telling you, my stress levels went down by 1,000%. 1,000%. I'm telling you, I've never felt such a relief of stress. I can't remember that level of stress, relief that I felt leaving his place and going down the road to my new place was deeper and more relief than getting out of prison. Getting out of prison was actually honestly, that was one of the most stressful days of my life. Going to prison was less stressful than coming home from prison. Just let that sink in for a second. Coming home from prison, getting released from prison was more stressful, way more stressful than going to prison. None of this shit would make sense to anybody unless you've been through that before and you actually know what that experience is like. Like you can't, things that you would assume would be the case are not. You would think coming home from prison would be an exciting day and oh my God, thank God it's over. No, that was 100 times more stressful than the going in. I can't even explain it. And going in sucked. Getting arrested, going to jail, sitting in jail for 14 months without seeing the sun or a tree or knowing what outside even looks like anymore. What is the sky? What color is the sky? Is it still blue? I don't fucking know. That was beyond crazy. I'll never forget the first time I went outside. We went to this, right before I was sentenced, they took me to this place in Youngstown, Ohio. And you would get about an hour of outside rec every day. And the first month or so that I was there, it was still warm. It was September. So, but there were days in September that were 70, 80 degrees. It was like 80 degrees and sunny with no clouds in the sky the first day I was there. And when we got to go outside for rec, I walk outside and I'm seeing the sun. I sat on a bench like this, just staring up at the sky, like dumbfounded. The sun. 14 fucking months of not seeing the sun. And now I'm sitting out at 14 fucking months. They don't even allow, like in the military, when you're on a submarine mission, like aren't the submarine mission where you're underwater? I don't think they make the soldiers, I don't think they make are they called soldier? What are they called? The seamen? I don't think they make the seamen stay in their fucking submarine for more than 3 months at a time without coming up for air and letting people walk around and shit, because it's inhumane. But they're fine with letting people sit in jail for 14 months without ever seeing the sun, as long as the FBI gets to torture you into signing a confession. That's how they win. That's how they do it. They torture you for 14 months. Sometimes there are people in that jail that were there for 5 years. They got arrested in like 2018. It's 2023 and they're still sitting in that fucking jail. Never even saw a day in court yet, because the FBI and the prosecution is just torturing them to squeeze out a confession. So you sit there for 5-6 years before you even go to trial. And they like, because you're facing like some sort of like 10-year charge or something like that. So they're like, we'll let them sit in jail for 5 fucking years. And, you're never going to see a day. So even if you do go to trial and you're found not guilty, you spent 5-6 years in jail to be not guilty. But what they do is you sit in a place like that, you don't see the sun for 5 fucking years, and they put a piece of paper in front of you and says, we'll take you off to Club Fed, to a federal prison where you get to go outside every day and see the sun, and in another 4 or 5 years you'll get to go home. And everybody's like, yep, sign, okay, let's do it. They don't fucking fight back, because they're just, if you decide to go to trial and you're found guilty, we're going to put you away for the next 25 fucking years. So I don't even know like how I got on that kick. Let's see what we got. Oh. Actually, hold on. All right. Anyway, a little bit of emails with a client, but let's see. So yeah, I don't know. All I know is that things are way better here. This is the first, being in this place where I'm at right now this is the first time I've felt any remote sense of being a normal person again since the day I came home since August 12th of 2022. I can honestly say that May 31st, 2025 is the first time I felt good. This is the first time I felt good in forever. This is the first time moving into this place here is the first time I have felt any kind of remote sense of like good. Like I can't even explain. I don't have words for it. It's so profound and it's so deep. Is it perfect? No. Am I completely free of anxiety and worries? No. No, but it's at a whole different level, I can tell you that. I'm worried about 50 different things right now, but it's not like the knot in my stomach isn't there. It's not there. That wound up tight right in they call it the solar plexus, like right below where the two rib cages come together at the bottom of your rib cage, like right there, man. I'll get a knot in my like just tight, just like it's inside. I don't know exactly what it is, but if I'm like really like if I get a zinger or like something really hits, like if something really stressful popped up, like a surprise or something, like, I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. I would get this instant like wave of anxiety, but then there'd be this knot right there in my gut. Right? Well, not even that low, but like right where the rib cages come together, there's like this. I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's YouTube videos about it, specifically that. I haven't had that. I haven't had that since the moment I left that douchebag's place, except for, I think it was there when I sent him the final text of, I left my keys on the counter, you dumb motherfucker. Oh, by the way, I moved out today. Left the keys on the counter. Good luck, asshole. That's not what I said. Go back to another video. The video that I don't even know which one it was, but I read verbatim the message I sent him and the message I got back from him. And ever since, when I got the message back from him, I was just laughing. I was laughing so fucking hard. It's over. It's so over. And I'm telling you, to this day, where is it? I'm looking at, I have it bookmarked. Still has his Craigslist ad up, which means he hasn't rented this place out yet. It's only June 10th. It's only been 11 days. You gotta consider that it's probably not going to happen until towards the end of the month. It'll probably happen towards the end of the month. And if it's going to happen, but I just know what else is available right now. And for that price, the only benefit is that all utilities included. So if you don't need internet, I mean, who the fuck doesn't? But if you can just live off of your phone being your internet, which some people do, a lot of people do. If you don't really need internet and you don't need that bill every month, your phone is all you got. I guess that could work. $900 a month plus utility, or with no utilities and just one bill every month. That's probably doable for somebody. But I just know, because I spent all this time looking, there are places that are in the $700-800 a month that are better than this, all utilities included. So I don't know. I mean, he may or may not be able to get this place rented. And my prediction, I predict that I'm going to see this ad pop back up on Craigslist with a lower price, $800 a month. And then it might go back $750. He might, I assume he's going to get this thing at the end of June. It's not going to be rented. And sometime in July, it's going to change to $800 a month, all utilities included. And then it's going to change down to $750 later towards the end of July when he's getting desperate. And then somebody's going to move in there and it's going to disappear. And then a month or two is going to go by and he's going to have that ad reposted for $900 a month. And what that's going to tell me is he got a new tenant, and when the tenant was 2 months into the lease, he turned around and said, okay, he's going to do the same thing to somebody else that he did to me. And he's going to try and bully the guy and strong arm. He showed the place to a girl, and the girl was actually decent looking. And I'm like, something was up. Like, I knew something was up and he was doing something shady, because he told me, he's like, oh, somebody's got to come over and inspect the place for the hot water heater or whatever. And this chick comes in, and he asked me not to be in the place when she showed up. And I'm like, but I'm watching it on the fucking camera. and I saw it. I'm like, this is weird. This is really fucking weird. But anyway, I'm like, no girl is going to look at this place and say, yeah, I want to live in the fucking backyard of an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting after someone showed up with the fucking keg with this creepy ass guy that, like, I mean, there's so much more to talk about. Holy fuck. But anyway, I'm going to tell you the whole story as I get settled in here. But then I'm just going to, I'm sure it'll come up in conversation again, but I'm moving on. I've already moved on. I'm looking forward. I'm not looking backward. But I have a feeling that he's going to pull the scam on somebody else. He's not going to get somebody in there for what he wants to get paid. And so he's going to snooker somebody into paying less money to get in. And then he's going to turn around once he thinks they're comfortable and settled in. He's going to turn around and be like, oh, I'm raising the rent next month. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck out. Well, I got the fuck out. Haha. But I did it in such a way that I didn't have to deal with him letting people in the apartment every day to look at it. The tiny house, whatever. Who cares? Whatever I'm going to call it. Place is fucking ridiculous. And place is fucking ridiculous. That was such a ridiculous situation. You can tell. You can watch these last few videos. You can tell I'm in a different place. Yeah, I'm a little scruffy today. I got a bathtub full of dirty clothes from the torrential downpour yesterday. Plus some towels got wet because there was an issue with the water heater. And I had to lay towels down. There was a leak coming out the bottom of the water heater where the outlet hose to drain the tank had like a little thing coming out of it. And there's a drip pan under the water heater with a drain, and the water was also seeping out where the drain was because it needed to be tightened. And it had a rubber gasket, but the rubber gasket wasn't doing the job, and so water was getting on the floor, and I laid a couple towels down and they got soaked, and I called the landlord. I'm like, hey, I would have fixed it myself, but I didn't have a set of channel locks. I'm a little bit deprived on tools. And so I'm like, I'll just call him. And he sent somebody over with it. This was Sunday night. It was 2 nights ago. It was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock when I let him know. He goes, okay, somebody's on the way. I'm like, what? Tonight? Okay. And I wasn't going to complain. I'm like, fuck it. Come and fix it. Awesome. The only thing I was upset about was I had my clothesline wrapped around everything, and I had clothes hanging up to dry, and they weren't going to be dry until the morning. And so... But now I've got a bathtub full of wet towels and wet clothes and just stuff that's got to be washed. And so that's going to happen later today. Let's see what we got here. Some more text messages coming in. right, I just had to check some text messages. Nothing big deal. But I'm uploading videos right now to the YouTube platform. I'll put the thumbnail, I'll put the titles and all that stuff together, schedule them. But when I get back in sync to where the video is in line with the date that I shot it, within a day, within 24 hours, I'm gonna figure out like what day works to have, what do I call it? There'll be a day where I'll set up to do live streams. We'll do some live streaming. And so and I think that'll work because my internet connection's not bad. Now, I was gonna do a product review of this T-Mobile 5G internet, and it was gonna be like 1 star, and I didn't even want to give it the star. I wanted to give it 0 stars. And I think right now I'm gonna have to give it 2. The company is still screwed up. I can't change my address on the website. There's some other stuff with it that sucks. Their customer service is non-existent. It's so bad. Their website, their app, everything's terrible. But the internet speed since I moved in here has been good. I haven't had dropouts. I haven't had disruptions in my service. The speeds are pretty consistent, and when they do slow down, they're still fast. The slowdowns aren't so slow that it makes my internet... I don't really notice the slowdowns, but every now and then I do a speed test, and sometimes the speed test is lower than other times, but still fast. Like if I'm just sitting and doing work and using the internet, I don't notice that it's any slower, because at some point you just don't. If you have 500 megabits per second internet access download speeds and you go to gigabit speeds, you really won't notice the difference. And the only way that you'll really notice it is if you're downloading a huge file. Like if you're on your Xbox and you're downloading a new game that's 50 gigabytes and you're downloading 50 gigabytes and that bar just goes zoop across the screen and it's done, or it kind of crawls along, you'll notice the difference then. But in terms of just your standard web browsing and just that kind of stuff, man, anyway, your web browsing and that kind of stuff, you're not gonna notice a slowdown like that. And so I'm getting right now, on a good day, I'm getting between 500 and 600 megabits per second download, and upload, they cap it at around 40. That's one thing they do. T-Mobile caps your upload speed, but at least I'm getting the full amount of the upload speed. I think the worst I've seen the upload speed get is 25 megabits per second. And for Zoom meetings and stuff like that, I haven't had a problem with a Zoom meeting yet since I've been in here. And so that leads me to believe that if I did a live stream on YouTube, the only way that it's gonna cut out and freeze is if YouTube doesn't like what I'm saying and they just want to censor me. They'll shut the stream off, and if that happens, I'll just do a number 2 stream and go right back online. So and I'll put that, I'll make sure that you guys know in advance that if I say I'm gonna do a stream from this time to this time, if the stream cuts out and dies and YouTube shuts it off or freezes it or whatever because I said the wrong thing, you start talking about Jeffrey Epstein's island too much, they'll cut your fucking stream right off. It'll just and it'll just freeze, and everything will be perfect up to that point. and they'll just make it seem like a technical glitch when in reality they're shutting you up because they don't want you to talk. I see it happen a lot. I see it happen on other channels a lot. Everything will be fine, everything will be perfect, and then all of a sudden you say the wrong thing and it just freezes. It freezes, and they don't want you to they don't want to show you, they don't want to tell you, oh, we're cutting you off because you said the wrong thing. Oh, we're having technical difficulties. Nothing we can do. Bullshit. So that's where I'm at today. I think there's a guy who's gonna bring over a TV. I've already got the wall. I've already got the mount for it. It's gonna be here. It might be here before he gets here. I haven't really made contact with the guy today. But he might have a job or whatever. So 9 to 5. I'm assuming it's not gonna happen until after 5. But I'm ready. I might be able to chill tonight in front of an actual TV and just veg. And if that all comes through, I will have saved a couple hundred. I will have saved at least like $150 off of my budget, and my total budget for the home will be under $2,000. Somebody else suggested, because I have the digital chicken bucket and people who want to contribute to the channel can do that. I sell my photography. I would rather, honestly, out of all the things I'm doing, if you want to support the channel, I would say go to my shop, shop.litgood.com, buy photographs. Tell me if you go to litgood.com and see a photo there that you want a print of, I can make it. I can make a print. And so this is on me more than anything. I have to get my library of 10,000 plus photos up for sale. But you can imagine how daunting of a task that is. It takes an hour to make an Etsy listing. If I have 10 photos all ready to go for Etsy, I could probably do it in 2 hours to get 10 listings up. But I think I'm gonna change things around on there. I'm gonna try just another project, of which I have too many, but I want to sell. I want. If somebody wants to support this channel, I want to give you something in return. Period. That's the way I want it to be. But other people were like, what about the people that just want to donate and just want to help you out? And this was like, back when I was homeless. I was like, okay, fine. And then some people are like, well, how can I help you without YouTube taking too much of a cut? Or how can I make it so that your whole donation gets to you? And somebody suggested setting up an Amazon gift registry, like for your baby shower or your wedding registry or whatever. Well, Amazon has that, and so I'm like, maybe I'll set up like an Amazon registry of a bunch of crap, because I came up with a list of, like, I started putting a list together, just house stuff that's not the big stuff. So I have that list that I was talking about, that I put a spreadsheet together, because I have a goal of what I want to do to this place, the major stuff, the bicycle workspace and workshop area, the curtains, a bed, a love seat, ottoman, TV area, and a dryer to dry my clothes, a portable small dryer, RV size, just things like that. I had this list, but then there's a lot of smaller things. So I went and cooked a bag of food. I have like the skillet meals that come in the bag. You just dump the bag out into a cast iron skillet or a skillet and you cook. You just heat it up. I dumped one of those bags into my skillet last night just to cook up something to eat. And it just triggered all these things that I'm missing from my kitchen. I'm like, I don't have a spoon rest. I don't have a stock pot. If I want to cook spaghetti, I really can't. I have a little saucepan there. I could cook a little bit of spaghetti. I would love to just cook spaghetti and have leftover spaghetti and sauce for 3 or 4 days. That would be economical. Obviously, I might be able to. I think I have a microwave that I can get my hands on for free. My friend said he wanted to bring over a microwave one of these days, but I'm not, I'm not going to pressure. I'm not going to be like, hey, where's that microwave? But I think microwave's covered, and I'm not in a hurry, but that, for heating up leftovers, that's what I use a microwave for. Pretty much that's it. A rice cooker with a steamer basket, those are like $20. A butter dish, a basting brush. I would need to re-season a cast iron pan, and I'm like, basting brush, because I'm gonna cook bacon, to get some bacon grease with which to use to season the pan that I need to re-season. And I'm like, well, I don't even have a basting brush. A rubberized basting brush, a casserole dish, the pasta spoon, the spoon with the hooks on it or whatever that you use to get the pasta out of the pot, and a plastic fork. They usually come in a set. Stainless steel saute pan. That might be something I want, but that's not a big thing. And the cold brew filters that I make my cold brew coffee with, and I'm already getting a headache. I've been drinking too much of cold brew lately. I think I need to get a smaller thing, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to put this in the fridge because my head is bouncing right now. But I didn't eat anything, so that happens. If I drink too much cold brew coffee and I don't eat, it's like it messes with me. But the filters that go inside the mason jars, I can do 2 more. I've got 6 mason jars, and I've got this fridge is so freaking big. So I can do 3 gallons of cold brew coffee and tea at any given time now. And so, but I need the filters. I need 2 more of the filters. So in order to do that, but these are all like cheap things, $5 here, $10 there. And I'm like, if I put a registry together and just add stuff to it and put a link in the description, if you want to contribute to the channel and what I'm doing, that would be a nice, because when I buy something that's on that list, I'll take it off. But I could have a running list on Amazon as a registry that if you want to know how $10 could help my situation, there's going to be something on that list that's like $10 or less, $20 or less, that I'm going to be like, oh my God, I have a butter dish. Oh my God, I haven't had a butter dish since 2022. Like I'm going to get excited about a freaking pasta spoon. I'm not kidding. If I had a pasta spoon right now, I'd be like, or whatever those things are called with the hooks that go around to scoop the pasta out of your boiling water or whatever. I don't know what they're called. I'm going to be like, oh my God. Like, a welcome. I need a mat in front of my front door. That's on my list. That's on my one list. I have a doormat. That's what it's called. This thing's like $46 though. I'm sure I can do better than that. This one's really nice, the one I have bookmarked, but I could probably take care of that for like, I don't know, a lot less than that. In fact, I might just see what Home Depot's got, shove it in a backpack and ride my bike over there and back. I don't know, but there's a bunch of just random things that I'm gonna keep thinking of. Bathroom stuff, house stuff. It's a never-ending project. The big stuff I'm just taking care of. You know, the big stuff. I'll put it on the list, but I'm not. Just you watching the video is enough. Like, you don't got to do nothing. I thank you all just for being here, for watching the videos, for the comments you leave, even the trolls. The trolls leaving comments gives me something to do. Gives me a reason to come back and see if I can out troll the trolls. So whatever, if that's all you got, if all you can do is leave a troll comment and that's all you're going to do to contribute to the growth of the channel, then have at it. Do what you're going to do. I'm not going to delete them. But yeah, that's just kind of a thing I thought of, and I'll probably get around to doing that at the same time. I'm going to retry to do an Amazon affiliate account, but they give you 90 days to make, I think it's 2 qualifying sales, and I think you get 3 qualifying sales, which means somebody clicks on your affiliate link and then buys something. It doesn't even have to be the thing they clicked on. It's just when you click on someone's affiliate link and you buy something from Amazon within 24 hours of clicking on that link, whatever it is that you buy, the person whose link you clicked on gets 50 cents or something like that. And so that's not a lot of money, but if you're like a high volume YouTube channel and you're getting millions of views on a video, and let's just say you just start doing let's say you have a channel that does nothing but product reviews on Amazon. There's tons of that shit on YouTube. People buy stuff from Amazon just to put a video up to review it because they know they're going to go viral and get millions of clicks and views on that video, and therefore they're going to get so many clicks to Amazon to their affiliate account that they're bringing in more money from it than the money they spent for the shit that they're reviewing. It takes a while to build that up, but it's something. I mean, come on, you think I'm going to lie to you if you've been watching these videos? Do you think I give a shit about, I'm going to be real. If I review something, I'm going to let you know what's up. I'm not going to hold back. I don't care. But I'm not, if people want to send me stuff to review, if I start doing more bicep, I saw things just pop up in this feed. There was a couple of dudes with a mountain biking channel. They're like fat, like dad bods, like regular looking, like dudes with beer guts and shit riding mountain bikes. They got a fucking sponsorship from Specialized Mountain Bikes. And I'm like, you mean I can just be a fat piece of shit riding around on a mountain bike, not even able to jump over a fucking log, and Specialized will send me free mountain bikes to ride in my videos if I get enough people watching them? So like, I guess I could do like some videos of my cycling commutes and I ride a Specialized road bike and a Cannondale road bike and be like, hey y'all, hook a brother up. Can I get some love? Can I get a Specialized turbo e-bike to commute back and forth to my job and cut that 40-mile ride? And I'll do a review. I'll do all kinds of product reviews on the free e-bikes that people want to send me. Yeah. But I need to get more than 1,200 subscribers, and right now YouTube doesn't think I should have any more than that because I haven't gained a single subscriber, not one. Have not gained one new subscriber since September of 2024. It just stopped. The channel stopped dead. Tell me that's not on. Just come on. We all know that's not. I'm not saying my videos aren't that great. I don't believe that I'm like this fucking you know, that I deserve all. But I know people who do nothing different than what I'm doing. There's a guy, the Truth Tiger guy, and I'm not saying, you know, this isn't any like criticism of his channel. All I'm saying is we both reached the 1,000 subscriber mark like within a week of each other. And all he does is sit in front of the camera while he's driving, or he sits in front of the camera in his apartment and talks about stuff like I'm doing. He doesn't do any fancy edits or nothing. And he's got like 12,000 subscribers now, and I hit 1,200 and it just stopped. Not one subscriber in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 9 months with 0 subscribers. 9 months. But the first 3 months of the channel, I gained 1,200 subscribers in 3 months, followed by 9 months with 0 subscribers. 0. That just doesn't, not even 10, not even 20 in 9 fucking months. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's YouTube. YouTube has blacklisted me. It's obvious. It's obvious. Like, they have 1,000 ways from Sunday to shut you off without having to outright kick you off the platform. In fact, they would rather do it on the down low and do it in a subtle fashion, because the more people they kick off the platform, the more scrutiny that they draw to themselves. But when they shadow ban you, it's hard to prove. And they can just say, well, you should make better content. But then I look at, like, you know, Prepper Nurse 1. I'm just going to go to his channel because why the fuck not? I'm sitting right in front of my computer. Here it is. And I use his channel for this because, yeah, he's got 106,000 subscribers. 106,000. 106,000 subscribers on this guy's channel. He's got 6,200 videos. He's been doing this for a while. 106,000 subscribers. And his videos, I'm just going to click the videos tab. 1,200 views on a video. I was getting 3,000 views on a video when I had 100 subscribers. He's got 106,000 subscribers and he's got 1,200 views, 1,100 views, 1,500 views, 1,300 views, 1,500 views, 1,600 views, 1,700 views, 809 views, 976 views, 879 views, and here's one from a while ago, 2,300 views. And he's not making shit. He's got 106,000 subscribers. Now I'm going to go to this OnlyFans chick. Because I know, okay, well, this chick's taken off. She's got 209,000 subscribers, and all she does is, I'm going to read you the fucking titles of her clickbait videos, this OnlyFans chick who just, all she does is tell you that God's about to make you rich every day. God's about, okay, you'll see this when you're about to bloom. 10,000 views. God knew this message may change your life. 17,000 views. Breaking news. God wants to give you the whole package. 13,000 views. God told me to share this with you. 14,000 views. You need to heal, but with God this time. 10,000 views. This is why you've been dealing with delayed disappointments, distractions, and debts. 18,000 views. So 12,000 views, 14,000 views, 15,000 views, 18,000 views, 21,000 views, 56,000 views. She's got 200,000 subscribers. Why is Prepper Nurse 1 guy getting 1,000 views on a video and this OnlyFans bitch is getting 50,000 views on a video. Wasn't there one that was 50? Where was the 50,000 view one? Yeah, 56,000 views on this one from 3 weeks ago. In fact, if I scroll down, 19,000, 27,000, 24,000. She's got twice as many subscribers, but she doesn't do anything different. She sits in front of a microphone. She's got a little fucking MP3, I don't know, an audio recorder with a fuzzy windsock pop filter wind reducing microphone, and she just sits in front of it holding the microphone like this and talks to you for 11 minutes. She follows the YouTube formula. Her videos are basically 10 minutes long, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 8 minutes, etc. She follows the formula. And but she's got Prepper Nurse 1 gets 1,000 views. He's got 106,000 subscribers and 1,000 people watch his videos. This chick, she doesn't fucking say anything different from one video to the next. It's all the same bullshit. 209,000 subscribers. She's got 659 videos. Prepper Nurse 1, what did I say? He has 6,000 videos. She's got 659 videos. And she's got 200,000 subscribers, and she's getting up to 20 to 50,000 views on a video, saying nothing, just being a piece of ass OnlyFans chick. And like Prepper Nurse 1 guy, he talks about stuff like it's like his crowd. The preparedness crowd. I don't know. Like, I'm sure I could sit here for an hour analyzing. Like, YouTube chooses who's going to be successful and who's not going to be successful on the platform, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you, the creator. If they don't want you out there, let me see. This guy, Richie from Boston. I don't agree with everything that he says. Oops, that's not him. Damn it. They got this guy all hog-tied for sure. I think he's a cool dude. I don't agree with everything he says. I'll just take a look at one of his. Okay, so he's got 30. He's getting pretty good play for his crowd. He's 32,000 subscribers, but he's getting 5 to 10,000 views on every video he posts lately. All right. That's actually a pretty good ratio there, views to subscribers. His channels were banned. He was outright kicked off YouTube. He had like 5 different channels because every time he'd get kicked off YouTube, he'd open up a new channel and start doing it again, and then they'd kick him off the platform completely, and over and over and over again, to the point where he had like 5 channels, and now they've like given him back all of his channels like 3-4 years after they kicked him off. But yeah, when YouTube chooses who they want and who they don't want, and some of it has to do with the algorithm, but I guarantee you that a human being can come in there, or they'll flag certain people in certain ways that a human being comes in and goes, oh, flip that shadow ban toggle to on. There's a shit in their admin. I'm sure somebody who works on the inside at YouTube could probably come out and say, yeah, if we want to shadow ban somebody, we just open up the admin page of their account that the employee sees, and there's a shadow ban toggle switch, and you just turn it on, and boom, it'll just repress that channel to where it won't be banned, and it will appear as if it's probably the creator's fault, but we won't see, like the channel growth will just stop. So they'll take a guy with 106,000 subscribers and pin him down to where he only gets 1,000 views on a video, but this fucking Holyfans slut can just get on and talk prosperity gospel all day long while she's dressing all slutty for church, and her channel just takes the fuck off. You know what I mean? Because it's like they pick and choose who they want to. Somebody is involved at some point with these decisions. It goes above the AI bot, and a human being goes, yeah, push them up, push them down. Yeah, I see it all the time. I've been on YouTube for so long paying attention that I can come up with more examples. Here's one. Well, okay, they must be listening to me talk to you right now. Here's a video. What it takes to make $20,000 a month as a creator. Well, it takes not getting banned. It takes saying the right thing, making your videos the right length. Oh, here it is. All you gotta do is read the comments. So what you're saying is the best way to make money as a content creator is to have something to sell, which I do. Otherwise, you're relying on AdSense, which is nice, but not enough to pay the bills, which is true. And here's the answer. With AdSense, other businesses are putting ads on your videos to sell their products, and they pay the creator a small slice of the pie. It does work well for lots of people. However, the problem with that is you need consistent views to have a consistent income. Having your own product or offer means that you can have a higher margin and you don't need as many viewers to convert. This is ideal for creators in the education space where they have specialist knowledge that other people are seeking. Hope that helps. Thanks for commenting. So yeah, I mean, I have to sit down and really now that I am in a space where I can think straight, I need to really kind of plan it out. Stop feeling over. It's been 11 days. This is day 11. So I'm not going to beat myself up to death. I'm not going to beat myself up over what I haven't done because it's been 11 days. But I'm finally in a place where I can sit down and kind of just, I have a system for it. I've done this in the past. And I can just put down every idea that I have of what I want to do, knowing full well that I can't do it all. There's just not enough time in the day to do everything I want to do. It's not enough time. There's not enough money in the bank. There's not enough time. There's not enough this and not enough that. A creative person will just come up with shit all day long, and you can't do it all. Have you ever had a job where you have a backlog of work to do and your bosses, the owners of the company, whatever, it's on purpose. They give you an overwhelming amount of work to do that they know you can't do it all. They know it's impossible. But they want you to feel pressure all the time, to always feel like you're behind, because then they can repress you, they can keep your wages down, they can say, well, you didn't get your backlog cleared, so look at this to-do list of everything we've given you to do that you haven't gotten done. And they can just use that to ratchet up the pressure. They never want you to actually meet the goals that they set for you. They set them so high that nobody could reach them. They couldn't reach them if they were in your shoes. So that's kind of what I have. I can do that to myself. And so I need to put this together where I can see it all and kind of evaluate it all and say, okay, some things are just going to fall down to the bottom, but I can prioritize it and say, before I went to prison, for example, I can just pull this up in my notes. I took somebody's course and I created a specific system around this course that I took. And it's rigid in the sense that it just gives you structure to all the random shit that comes through your mind. And it helps you figure out what your goals actually are. And so here it is. I have, here it is. You start out with, essentially making a list of, you can start, the best way to start is to just say, what are the things that I want in life? Could be anything. Put down 50 things that come up to your mind. Just write down the first 50 things that come to your mind of like, what do you want in life? It could be a car, a new house, a relationship. You want to fix something in a relationship. You want your health to be better. You want to lose weight. Anything. There's no such thing as a bad idea here. And then after you have about 50, start to kind of categorize them. And so I have the health, wealth, relationships categories, and then within wealth, I have income, finances, photography, content, preparedness, lifestyle, home, design, my design career. Under health, I have a bunch of things, but it's all health because there were only 13 things under the health category. And then relationships, there were 7. So, but under a lot of my goals, when I first did this, it says the last time it was updated was March 22nd, 2022. So it would be interesting to look at these. But like I had income, finances, photography, each one of these, the photography one had 23 things I want. Content was, I was thinking about doing YouTube stuff and blogs and stuff like that. Preparedness, I had a huge list of preparedness things. And they could be anything. They could be, I'll just read a couple of them. I want to sell 10 photographic prints. I want my bug out backpacks and truck bug out kit packed and organized. I want to completely remove Google from my life as much as possible. I want to own an independent off-grid place to live. Like they can be vague and they can be long-term, short-term. I want to lose 20 pounds. Like what's under health? Let's just see what's under health. It's pretty basic. I want to weigh 190 pounds. I want to fix my broken arm to be straight again. I can't make my arm go straight ever since I broke my arm. I can't, no matter what I do, I can't make it go straight. I want to play frisbee golf again. One game of frisbee golf, boom, I can cross that off, right? I want to ride my bicycle across the country. That's a more lofty goal. So, now where are the rest of the things in this? Do I just use the back button? Yeah, here we go. So then you start taking those things and how do I explain this? Because I don't even remember exactly what each one of these pages means. Well, you saw March 22nd, 2022 is the last time I updated that one. The timeline, March 4th, March 22nd. So take all of those things on your list and you start to put them together on like week 1, week 2. I say like 1 week, what can you do this week? Can you cross any of it off this week? Can you cross any of it off in 2 weeks? How about 1 month? How about 3 months? How about 6 months? How about 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? So, preparedness. I see things under the 10-year stretch. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. There's a few things, but so if you put something in the 10-year category, then you can look at it and say, okay, under 5 years, okay, so let's say I want to travel to all 50 states in 10, and I think it's something I can do, but I probably have to give myself 10 years. Like, just think in terms of that, okay? So for year 5, you might say, okay, I want to have visited 25 states. Year 1 should be, I want to have traveled to 5 states. Now, you can cross off the states you've already been to and think about how many are left and divide that by and so like 6 months, I want to travel to 2 different states in 6 months. I want to take a road trip 2 times, go here, go there, whatever. So if you set a goal, I want to travel to all 50 states, and you think, just generally thinking, how long would that take? And you come up, well, I think it's 5 years seems like too short. 10 years, it seems like, yeah, I could do it in 10 years. And then you just, okay, so 5 years from now, I should have visited 25 states. 3 years, 1 year, 6 months, etc. And you can just start working towards it. Then another part of this is, where is, let me think here, checklist. Okay, so track your accomplishments week by week. What did you actually cross off your list so that you can look back and see that you're actually doing things. So that's another part of this system. The timeline, okay, I just walked through that. Nope. There's another part of this, and I'm trying to. It's not. And you can, the thing is that once you set up a system like this, you can modify it, you can cross things off, your priorities can change. But I know there's something else in here that I'm trying to. There's like a whole spiritual component to this where you can take your individual goals and I don't even want to get into that part of it. That was part of this course that I took. And you're kind of going like, I want to get away from one of my goals was I want to get away from the corporate world, and my goal was to try and get away from the corporate world and be on my own on January 31st, 2023. And now this was before, this was about a year. I was giving myself a year to try and do that. But there's a whole spiritual component of it, of like, I want the freedom to live according to my own schedule. It has to do with having control over my own life. You want, some of the motivating factors are control over your own life, seeking other people's approval, wanting your safety and security. And so, if working could you be, so you're asking yourself, I want to remain independent from the corporate world. And you have to ask yourself, can you be 100% okay if you reach your goal? Most people say, well, of course, that's why it's a goal. And what's the best part of having the freedom to live according to my own schedule that satisfies my need for control, right? But you have to ask yourself too, can you be 100% okay without reaching your goal? And yes or no. Working, and one of the benefits is working for a paycheck. Working for a paycheck could be okay if it provides a pathway to get to your ultimate freedom, because you made so much money working for some other company that you were able to put it all away and then retire or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's more than one pathway that might get you where you want to go. Even if I work for corporate America, it doesn't mean I have to be one of them. So if for some reason I decided to work, these were all things that I was just digging into by then. And you'd want to look at the different components of your emotional states. So wanting to go out on your own for business, what are some of the fears that you... I had a fear of being homeless. Imagine that, back in 2022. That, taking a risk and going out on your own would result in you falling flat on your face and being homeless. Well, we saw how things turned out there. I ended up homeless, but for different reasons. People that I'm close to, my kids, significant other, things like that, will think I'm a fool who's ruining my life instead of taking the safe. If you have a wife and you have a good career and you work for corporate America and you bring home good money and you decide, I want to start my own business and I want to get away from that, your wife is probably going to be opposed, because she's going to feel like you're risking her safety and her security and her home and her, all the things that she depends on your money for. And so you are risking other people's approval, your friends, your family, the people that you're closest to. When you decide to do something like that, they are the first ones that will turn their back on you and try to talk you out of it and express disapproval. Ask anybody who's been an entrepreneur, ask anybody who's ever done anything risky. The people closest to you, the people whose approval that you actually want, are going to be the least likely to give it. That's 100%. When I found this out when I wanted to go to art school when I was 17 years old, my entire family was like, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Why don't you just go and get a real job? All this different shit. And, why don't you take the safe path? Anytime you're not going to take the safe path, people that depend on you are going to be like, what the fuck? Why don't you take the safe path? Why are you taking the risky path? Because now you're going to fuck up my life with your stupid decisions. And so that was, there's a whole thing around this, where you can just take all of these things that you want to do, and these I had a goal of having a photography library with over 1,000 images for sale. And you kind of analyze it from, are you okay with having it or not having it? Part of it for me was, it's too much work for too little pay. Why waste your time? I waited too long to get started on this path. I missed the social media party. There's photographers on Facebook in Pittsburgh with 6 million followers now. And I'm starting from zero. How am I ever going to catch up to that? You know what I mean? There's all kinds of things to Oh, here I'm looking at a chart about anxiety where it talks about where you feel the anxiety in your body. And here it is with the boom, it's right there, the anxiety. It's exactly where, it's a chart showing exactly where you feel it, what I was just talking about. So I'm looking at some of these things that I haven't looked at in years. And so I don't even know exactly how this is all set up and what it means and whatnot, but you can take this, you take this list, you basically break out a list of things that you want, 50 things, and you don't have to categorize them, but you should prioritize them. Put the things that you want the most at the top and the things that you're willing to let slide go down, and that's step one. And that list it can be easy to come up with 50 things. I mean, it could be something like the kitchen. I want a spoon thingy to grab the spaghetti out of a pot, and I need a pot to cook the spaghetti in. That could be on my list of what I want. It could be things. It could be, I want to see my kids again. It could be, I want to get early release from probation. I want a pardon from Donald Trump. It could be, I want a photo store on Etsy with 10,000 photos for sale. So let's just say if that was my goal, I want an Etsy store with 10,000 photos for sale. Then, okay, that's going to take 10 years. 5 years from now, I should have 5,000 photos for sale. Get it? You start putting it on a timeline. Getting a spaghetti spoon is something I could do next week and cross it off the list and it's done. It's not a long-term project. Having a complete kitchen, and I don't even know how I would define that, but this is what it could be. There could be a thing on this list that says, I want a complete kitchen that I can cook anything I want in. I don't have to define that. I can take that and make it a priority of some kind, and then I can start to map this out. So having a photo store with 10,000 photos is a lot harder than getting a spaghetti spoon, but they're both on here are the things I want. And so you can sit here and kind of organize this stuff out and start kind of mapping out a 1 year, 1 week, 2 weeks. What did I say? Because I had this, I was working on this and I was actually knocking things out when I started to do this. So I had a goal for wanting to reach a certain level of income from my photography. And in the first week, I had a goal of making this much. The next week I make that much, etc. I wanted to be completely out of debt. Those kinds of things. And so I want to be debt free is a goal, is what I want. All right, so how long do you think that'll take? And if you say 2 years, 3 years, whatever, okay, so one of the steps to get there then needs to be, you take this timeline, you put, I want to be debt free in 3 years, and you give it a date, 3 years from today. And then you say, all right, what's the first thing you do? How much debt do I have? That might be something that you try to do. Give yourself week 3. Break it down and say on week 3 or on 1 month, give yourself 1 month. 1 month from today, I should know how much debt I have and document it. Have a spreadsheet, have a system. No, add it all up. Take time, figure it out. 1 month from now, I should know how much debt I have completely and down to the penny as best I can. 6 months, I should have some of that paid off. 1 year, I should have more of that paid off. You might have income goals around that. So this is how I have this whole system that I took a system that somebody else made, and then I just kind of made my own version of it because when I looked at the things that I want in my life at the time, this is 2022, it's a much different scenario than where I'm at right now. Some of the things would still apply today, but I'm gonna say half of these things don't have any place in my life anymore. Definitely, I'm looking at them. And some of them are things that I already had that I would like to have again. Here's one. I want to score 570 in an indoor 20-yard 600 archery round. I had archery goals listed here because I got into archery. I was like, damn, this is fun. Now I can't own a fucking bow and arrow. You know, it's like when the government takes away your right to keep and bear arms, I can't even be dancing around a teepee, around a campfire going, ooh, with a fucking bow and arrow in my hand. Like, I can't even do that. Because, you know, they looked at what happened to General Custer and they're like, well, we can't let a convicted felon have a bow and arrow. I have, wanted to hike the entire North Country Trail with my son, and it's the entire North Country Trail through the Allegheny National Forest. It's almost exactly 100 miles. At the time that I was arrested, we had done about 30 of it. Yeah, we did about 30 miles of it. At the time I was arrested, we had just the weekend before I was arrested, Monday, as of Sunday afternoon, I believe it was, as of Sunday afternoon, we had hiked 30 of the 100. And he was 12 years old. And this is some rugged wilderness. We had hiked 30 of the 100 miles on Sunday, and then I was in prison on Friday. So that's kind of that hurts to look at that. We would have been done with that goal by now, for sure. I wanted to participate in the Crush the Commonwealth bicycle race again. Well, that ain't fucking happening. I wanted to fix this one tooth that was messed up, and now the whole fucking tooth is broken and fucked up even worse. Yeah. So I got to go through this. Yeah, there's a couple of other goals here that are pretty much out the fucking window now. But it's a good start. I gotta look. I probably need to take the course again. It's all like online shit. And I probably don't even need to, but I can just look at this because there's a format to it. And I can just I know how this all works. I'm looking at it now, and it's, man, there's a lot of stuff in here. I can see all kinds of things in this list of things I actually did. And so on that timeline that I was talking about, you lay things out on a timeline and you just keep working towards it and working towards it. But then 3 months in, you might sit down and just open up the entire timeline and just reorganize it. And just kind of look, because I had a color code system, like, am I on pace, am I not on pace, etc. And your priorities are going to change. You might have a goal that you set for 10 years from now, but 6 months in, you might say, never mind. You know what I mean? And so this is a fluid thing. It's not a fixed in stone. This isn't like you set a 10-year timeline of what you're going to do, and then you lock it and you just focus on it. It's something that you just continually look at, and you continually adjust and change and mess around with. And you know, if you're behind on something, you evaluate, do I stick with it or do I just take it out? And you kind of like think about, in terms of when you look at this timeline. I'll probably, like, I could make a whole video about this once I start doing it. You don't want to put more stuff. If you have your goals, these are my goals for week 1. I'm looking at this thing here. It's all quick and easy stuff. If I have a long-term goal, I'll put it in. If it's something I think is going to take 3 months to do, I put it in the 3-month block. And then I go back and I say, where should I be a month from now on this goal? And put something there. And then, okay, 2 weeks from today, how far along should I be on achieving this 3-month goal? And put something there towards that goal. And then what should I do this week right now to help me move toward that goal, and put that down. But that first week thing should be something simple that you can do this week. It shouldn't be the 3-month you see what I mean? It helps you break it down. And then it might just be, I was thinking about doing like YouTube and stuff like that. The first week goal was something about, I want to brainstorm and create a list of 5 potential channels and content creators that I could collaborate with and possibly be on each other's channel. I want to brainstorm 5 specific ways that I could generate traffic to my website. It doesn't mean I have to do anything. I want to create a list of topics. Clean up this other social media platform. Something I can do in a few hours. Then next week, so every week, like, it's just a general thing to look at. And when you cross something off, you take it off of the list, put it in a I got this done list. And you should reevaluate this timeline every week, but you might go 2 or 3 months without even looking at it. And then you'll come back and say, oh, I want to see where I'm at. And you open it up and you just kind of cross off the things that you've done, clean up the thing, and then just kind of see how far along you are towards reaching your goals. And so I'm not going to talk about this anymore because I'm being vague and you're not seeing it and I'm not screen sharing it. But I think, here's another one. And you can back up your timeline, if you will. Like, you can back the thing up and like, I'm gonna create a duplicate copy of this thing and start fresh. But I can see now that I'm poking around in it, I think right now is the time to start doing this, because now I'm like in this new place, I'm in this new, like, it's kind of like the New Year's resolution. It's a new year and a new me, right? But I'm in this place and it's positive. I have a lot of positive energy coming through now. There's some negative energy, there's some worries, there's some concerns, I feel overwhelmed by the amount of shit I have to do in life. And that is where this thing can help, because it can help me. I can just list it all out. Here are all the things. And then I can prioritize. I want 6 stream of what goal have I said since the early days of this video channel? I want 6 streams of income that each make 6 figures. That's $600,000 a year in income. And is that something I can do this year? No, it's not. I'm on pace to make $25K this year if I'm lucky. I don't even know where I'm at right now. The year's half over and I'll be lucky to break 25 grand. So I don't even know how I'm surviving right now, let alone got 6 streams of income making 6 figures each. Can I reach that level of income by myself? No, I can't. I'll have to hire people at some point to help with this shit. No possible way that one person can do all that by themselves. It's not. I don't care who you are. Maybe one stream of income that makes that much money doing something that you can do on your own, but that's rare. That's really rare. Look at Elon Musk, okay? People are like, oh, Elon Musk is the CEO of all these kinds of bull fucking shit. Elon Musk throws money at different companies. He's not the CEO. He on paper, yes, he's the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX and Starlink and, did I say it said Tesla? The Boring Company. He's the CEO of X. And I don't know, there's probably 5 other fucking companies on this list of companies that he runs. Have you ever seen a CEO of one company, an actual CEO? How busy they are running their one fucking company as the CEO. They never take a vacation. They're never available. They're always in a meeting. They're always on the phone. They go on a vacation with their family. They're sitting on the deck of the yacht on their fucking phone, on their other phone in a Zoom meeting, juggling the shit going on in their company. Oh, I have to hop on the helicopter and fly into town for a minute and go to this meeting. I'll be back for dinner, I hope. And then the wife and kids are on the yacht and dad's nowhere to be found because CEO dad's in some glass tower in the middle of the city. And, you know, his helicopter doesn't make it back to the yacht until, 2 in the fucking morning when everybody's in bed. Even though he's on vacation. That's what a CEO of one company has to do to be the CEO of one company. You think Elon Musk is the fucking CEO of 7 fucking companies? And he's on Joe Rogan smoking weed, and he's running the fucking government, the Department of Government Efficiency, and he claims that he's like one of the number 1 Diablo players. Like, he's got time to play fucking video games all day and be the number 1 ranked player in the world on some fucking video game. Get the fuck out of here. Elon Musk has a shitload of money, and he has somebody running every one of these fucking companies who's an actual CEO whose name you don't fucking know because he's an egomaniac and he takes the credit for everything that these companies do, but he doesn't do anything. He shows up once in a while to be the celebrity guest appearance at the company. SpaceX is going to launch a rocket. Elon Musk hasn't been to fucking SpaceX in 8 months. They're going to launch a fucking rocket. All of a sudden, Elon Musk is sitting there in the control room with his fucking earpiece and the thing, yelling and barking orders at people and whatnot because the TV cameras are rolling and he has to pretend that he's running his rocket company. This motherfucker doesn't run a rocket ship company, for fuck's sake. When's the last time that motherfucker was there? He's running X, and he's digging tunnels underground, and he's got a car company, and he's working for the government, and he's got 10, 15 other fucking jobs, and he's playing video games all day and going on Joe Rogan to smoke a bong and pass a joint. And he's got time, and he's running a fucking rocket company. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. So, for me to have the goal of 6 different streams of income that all make 6 figures, the only way I would ever be able to pull that goal off and reach that goal is to have help from other people. That's the way it is. How am I supposed to run a web design or marketing business and a photography business and, do content creation on YouTube at a high level to where I've got millions of subscribers and I'm generating income from that reaches the 6-figure mark? Look at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast right now is the biggest dude on YouTube. That motherfucker's got a whole production company with probably 100 and something employees that work for him. And there's all kinds of stories about the shenanigans and the fucking weird shit that goes on in that guy's business. From former employees of his that have come out and said stuff about the guy. But it's a company, it's not him, it's not just some guy. Like, how do you think that the videos that this guy puts out now that cost, that some of these videos that he's putting out are going to cost millions of dollars to produce. But he's making the millions of dollars back. So, but he's not doing this alone. Look at watch a video that he does. And he's got a candy bar. He's selling candy bars now. Like, you think he's doing this all on his own? No. So that's the point. I gotta connect, I gotta make connections, and I've gotta and this is all long term. This is like a 10-year goal. I'm almost 50 years old. So by the time I'm 60, hopefully I'm making enough money from multiple streams of income. Ultimately, as a business owner, you want to be Elon Musk. You want your business to run itself, and you just sit there and collect the profit. Elon Musk is the owner of businesses. He doesn't run them. He doesn't. He shows up and he yells at people and he threatens people, and he goes to Tesla once in a while and he sleeps in the office on a cot because that's his story. That's that's the persona that he's putting out there in the world, that he's just this frugal tyrant of a boss. He shows up and he sleeps on a couch or on a cot at the Tesla factory so that he's there 24/7 bitching at the workers who don't work hard enough and blah blah blah. Like what? He taking time away from his fucking video game championship to go bitch at the Tesla workers for a few days, and then what? He goes to the rocket ship company and bitches at them for a while, and then he flies down to where they're digging a tunnel somewhere to bitch at them for not digging fast enough, and whatever, dude. He's not running shit. He's not running shit. He's paying for it, but he's not running a fucking thing. He's the guy who shows up and bitches everybody out and threatens them and says to all the programmers at X, I'm gonna fire all of you fucking programmers and bring people from India over for pennies on the dollar. And Donald Trump gave me the fucking license to do it, so fuck you. You either work harder or you take half the pay or get the fuck out of my company, you motherfuckers. And so he's just the guy, the celebrity that shows up once in a while to make a big fucking thing and make everybody panic and run around like they're chicken with their head cut off and create all kinds of fucking drama. And then he leaves, and the person that he put in charge of the company goes back to running the show. And tell me the person who runs any of these companies. Who's the chief operating officer of SpaceX? Who's the chief operating officer of the Boring Company? Who's the chief of Tesla? Who's the chief of SpaceX? Who's the chief of X? Who actually runs any of these fucking companies? You don't know their names because it's all celebrity Elon Musk. That's the only name anybody wants you to fucking know. Number 2 in command, the one that actually runs the company, I'm sure you can look the stuff up. It's probably, it's public knowledge. You can Google this. But the names aren't out there. They're not you don't know them. You would not know any of these people's names unless you actively go and try to find them. You know the CEOs of other companies. You know Andy Jassy is the CEO of Amazon. You know that Jeff Bezos is still in charge, though, but he's too busy launching giant dildos into space with celebrities on them, like Katy Perry and a bunch of fucking dumb hoes, sending them up into space for 10 seconds. That's just his, play toy now. He's like, I'm so fucking rich, I'm just gonna shoot dildos full of whores up into space, and fuck it, why not? It's what I do now. I got money, and life is short. I don't want to run a fucking company anymore. I just want to shoot dildos full of whores up into space and play around and fuck around and, you know, bang porn stars and whatever the fuck else I do when the doors of my mansion are shut. So, with that, the only point I'm making is that some of the goals that you might have in life are going to be hard and take a long time, but you'll never get anywhere towards them if you don't start doing things now. Other goals that you have in life might take 10 minutes to cross off your list. It's one phone call. You just got to get up the courage to make it. Then it's done. So you can kind of, first thing I think you should all, if this is something if you've made it this far, I'll probably, you know, maybe I'll do a video series about this whole topic. But the first thing you should do is just write down a list. Come up with no less than 50 things that you want in your life. A new job. Could be anything. 50 things you want in your life. Anything. Material things, spiritual things. You want to read the whole Bible cover to cover. You've never done that before. Like anything. 50 things that you want to accomplish, 50 things that you want in your life, whatever. It doesn't matter what they are. Just write them down. They can be in any order, however they come to your head. Write it down, write it down, write it down. And that's it. That's all you got to do. The first step is just write it down. So that'll be the first step I take when I sit down to do that. And I'm going to let you all go. This is my video for today. I'm trying to get caught up. That's part of what I'm doing today. Just trying to get some more videos up. Trying to get, there's a delay, and I'm trying to take the delay between when I record the videos and when I post them and just make it even. And then I'll start doing live streams, and I'm going to start doing other things. I've got tons of ideas. Time is a factor. Money is a factor. Everything in time. But anyway, I'll let you go. Peace out.